everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Liz. I am a medical technologist and pharmaceutical chemist with over 30 years of experience in the pharmaceutical and healthcare industries. I'm also a carnivore. I have been a carnivore since November of 2022. I was 100 pounds overweight. I had a laundry list of medical conditions that no other diet could help, and carnivore resolved everything. The purpose of my video today is to address those people who try carnivore and they don't have the success that they think they should. I also would like to further clarify some concepts I presented in my last video titled Lipotoxicity, posing the question, should carnivores be worried? Spoiler, the answer to the question is not for the most part. Lipotoxicity is something that's trending around the carnivore communities these days. Liver King to lipotoxicity. As far as trending goes, the social media landscape is a trip, is it not? But anyway, since this topic kept popping up, I decided to go over what it is. The name sounds scary AF, hence the bloody Halloween looking thumbnail. I love doing thumbnails, especially the goofy ones like that one. But anyway, I basically geek out on all the nerdy metabolic pathways and on a high level describe what this overall issue is and when it could affect certain individuals. I also start the video by saying that I am in no way bashing the carnivore diet. I believe 100% it is the proper human diet, hands down. And as I said, I owe my life to this diet. I didn't have much of a life prior to it. You can be alive and dead at the same time, just saying. But based on some feedback and some questions, I was worried that I wasn't clear enough about the central message. So I wanted to add some thoughts that are critical in understanding why this was even brought up to begin with. First of all, we have to break down the different populations who are trying the carnivore diet. First, there are the successful carnivores, those like myself and many others who just started eating meat and fat exclusively and experienced all these amazing medical breakthroughs and rapid fat loss. Feeling so great, we actually feel as if we are in our teenage years. For many of us, it's earth-shattering, and we can hardly believe the results. We never shut up about it, in fact. And it's so easy. We don't count no stinking calories. We don't manipulate any macros. We just eat. Bada boom, bada bing, and everything is better. And it's been great. But then there's a second group of people that we can't forget about or ignore. These people are those who are desperate to find something that works. And they watch the testimonials on the carnivore channels of people explaining all these amazing results. Losing tons of weight, correcting medical conditions that never had a chance of being cured by the mainstream medical interventions, curing depression where nothing else would work, and on and on. Then they try it, and they find they feel terrible. They try and give it a real chance. They know they have to try it for a while, that it's not overnight, but months and even longer, they don't get results, and they can even gain weight. And I'm talking about those who are actually doing real carnivore, not those who are cheating. This feeling of seeing everyone transformed and all these miraculous results only to experience absolute failure, that has got to suck. So why? Why isn't it working for those people? One reason that one size doesn't necessarily fit all, and I do not mean that not all people can benefit from a carnivore diet. They can. But one singular approach to a carnivore diet doesn't necessarily fit everyone. I worked the majority of my pharmaceutical career in clinical trial material manufacturing. I know it's shameful. Please don't hold it against me. In my defense, the moment I woke up in the Matrix pod, I ran screaming from the building into a different industry in order to save my immortal soul. So there's that. But I digress. My point is, the intention when doing a rigorous trial and conducting controlled studies is that one word, control. You have a lot of control to make sure that you're comparing apples to apples in those studies. If you do a study of 10 people and each one of them are on a variety of different drugs, your results at the end of this study is going to be invalid. Each person is their own little chemical micro-universe, and you won't know what effect or result is due to the regular human functionality as opposed to subject A being on their own customized stew of drugs. This concept is why you cannot just say, you eat this many eggs each morning, and this much butter, and this much blabbity blabbity blue. Some people may feel like shit if they eat eggs. A lot of people have problems with the white and might need to just eat solely yolks. Or some people may not do well eating them at all. Some people feel like crap if they eat pork. I know, God help them, their tortured soul. I cannot imagine not being able to eat bacon. Yikes. Some have to do lion diet, and they exclusively stick to ruminant animals, and that makes them feel the best. You cannot have one single approach to this diet. What you end up with is people who get frustrated and they quit. They accuse carnivores as being quacks, and they label this amazing diet as a fad. A lot of them go back to their previous habits, convinced there's no point, and they get sicker. This is where carnivore diet experimentation and adjustment is critical. You have to try things to know if they'll work for you. You have to try the eggs and try different amounts of fat, or try fasting or fat fasting or higher protein or lower protein. Then you judge how you feel to determine the path forward. Do not blindly trust others to manage your health. You must take charge of your own well-being. You can't just listen to an influencer or doctor tell you how and what to eat. You can study, listen, get suggestions and recommendations, but there is one entity that will transmit the truth to you on what is effective. It is your body, and your body alone, that will tell you what is working and what is not, and it will be a message that you can trust. So lipotoxicity, as explained in the previous video, could be a phenomenon experienced by some of those people who have had a hard time and very little success on carnivore, due to medical conditions, medications, circumstances that make their ability to process foods unique or problematic. There are different variables each human has to deal with. So if you're feeling fatigued, you're not losing weight, and you're just not getting much success on carnivore, just tweak your macros. You might be eating too much fat. You might not be eating enough fat. You're only going to know if you try to tweak these amounts and test the waters. And no, lipotoxicity is not a conspiracy theory that was created by the food industry in order to supply the medical industry with more patients. It is a real thing, but if someone tells you, oh, be afraid, don't do carnivore because you're going to become lipotoxic and you might get sick and die, yeah, that's a lie. And in fact, most carnivores, most that I have seen that do higher fat carnivore diets, they feel great. When they become mature carnivores or they've done it for a long time, a lot of them, though, they have to tweak their macros. Some have to do more protein and less fat, or more fat and less protein at different points in their life. Keep in mind that how old you are has a lot to do with what you're going to eat and how much and how often. Because when you're older, then you actually can't eat the same way you do when you're younger, because you have different needs. You have different requirements. So that's also a variable that plays into these little micro universes that are humans. And another point important to understand is this. While it's harder to binge eat on a carnivore diet, it is absolutely not impossible. It still happens all the time. I was a food addict, and food addiction has psychological roots, which means it doesn't matter what kind of food it is, I can abuse it. I can find a way to abuse anything. Plus, I love meat and butter and cream, and hell yeah, I can pile it on if I get in the right mood, to the point that I will gain weight. Am I hungry? No. I just want to have the experience of eating it. I don't overdo it now, thanks to being a mature carnivore. Have I on occasion gone off the deep end and eaten an entire package of that crappy microwave bacon? Maybe. I've also heard of, and I've done this myself, going way too far with the butter. My point is, a high-fat carnivore diet is sometimes interpreted by food addicts to be a hedonistic free-for-all that could, depending on what you're cramming into your pie hole, lead to something like the lipotoxicity issue or weight gain, or make you feel like crap. So in conclusion, for new and mature carnivores, do your own experimentation and listen to what your body tells you, and it won't lead you astray. We are all humans, at least I think so. And carnivore is the proper human diet for us humans. But remember, our environment, including our modern food supply, is always evolving. The world is changing around us, and it always will. So we have to keep being good scientists and adapt to those changes. If you do, you have a much better chance of success. Let me know in the comments section below which carnivore group you belong to. Group A, the "this diet is amazing" group, or Group B, "this diet is a crock of shit" group. Or are you neither? Either way, I would love to know what you've experienced. Thank you so much for stopping by, and if you found this helpful, I would appreciate a like, and if you are so inclined, you can subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.